Fellow pilots, this week we've been presented with a cargo LOU to vote on. I ask that you consider the following when deciding on your vote. A little history. Air Canada once had a dedicated cargo operation known as Air Canada Express. This operation used dedicated DC-8 freighters to fly all around the world. For pilots, that literally meant all around the world with greater than 10-day eastbound pairings, which ended upon return back to the home base. Unfortunately, AC exited the dedicated cargo aircraft world in the 90s. The closest we ever came since was the 747-400 Combi aircraft. Since the time the DC-8 cargo operation ceased, many of Air Canada's passenger fleet has been converted to cargo for life after passenger flying. As an example, at least 25 727s, 4 767s, 3 in service with Atlas Air Cargo Polar, 1 in service with Cargo Jet, and 3 747-400s of the AEC historic fleet have been converted to cargo. To keep this conversation relevant, the AEC 747-400s were retired in the fall of 2004. 3 of them were flown to Tel Aviv for cargo conversion for an operation at an Asian-based cargo carrier. Earlier that year, in May or June 2004, ACPA negotiated a wet lease deal with the corporation whereby one MD-11 of World Airways and one MD-11 of Gemini Air Cargo were to be used on the following routes. They even had the Air Canada call sign. 2 weekly flights from Toronto to Frankfurt via Halifax or Brussels, 4 weekly flights from Toronto to Frankfurt, 5 weekly flights from Toronto, Anchorage to China, and 1 flight to LAX. Since then, our flirting with the cargo market through another wet lease with Cargo Jet has not materialized to anything meaningful. I ask you to digest that for a moment. We sold off aircraft which had the potential to perform the type of flying we would end up contracting out to US cargo carriers, both of which are bankrupt today. We as Air Canada pilots now have the opportunity to be a part of our aircraft afterlife, which other carriers have previously enjoyed. As a result of no in-house cargo division, our company has lost out on millions of dollars of revenue and made other Canadian cargo carriers stronger. Now, why is that a concern? Primarily because our carrier's pilots operate under WALCON inferior to our collective agreement. Second, during non-COVID times, we move a lot of cargo in the belly of our passenger aircraft. Whether or not we realize that these Canadian cargo carriers compete for our business and strength that affects our AC cargo division, even without our own dedicated freighters. The concerns of the majority of our pilot group on this deal are reasonable. For example, why do we need a 10% reduction on the mainline 767 day and night rate? Overseas pay is paid out at 100%. Absolutely agree. Ideally, we'd like to see 100% wage parity with the mainline rate. But the reality is that this formula for cargo aircraft pay was enforced during the pre-2009 collective agreement, and therefore precedent setting. Voting no on this pay rate in hopes of securing a better pay rate is a massive gamble. Historically speaking, the odds of going back to the table and negotiating a better deal are highly unlikely. We know that the current executive team at AC is laser focused and highly disciplined. They did not bluff. During the Q2 2020 investor call, AC stated that they were disappointed in the government response to Canada's aviation sector. They advised the A220 orders were at risk of being cancelled. Fast forward to November 2nd, and without government aid, AC cancelled 12 A220 orders. No bark, but all bite. On the same day, they advised 9 Canadian stations would be closed. These closures would be temporarily on hold, pending the outcome of government negotiations. I ask you, do you think that AC now has the attention of the government? If we are being told that the cargo operation will not go ahead without this wage rate, then we have every data point and historical decision from this executive team to support the prediction of that's exactly what is going to happen. History teaches us that voting no to this LOU will firmly put the brakes on this venture or the pilots of AC not being a part of any future cargo operation or partnership. No tweaking and no negotiation of the current offer will occur. Note I said future cargo aircraft or partnership, because if you think that the A1 protections of the CBA will protect us, you're wrong. Exhibit A, the recent CPA scope violation. Sure, we can grieve it, but in the timeline at which a grievance will be settled, the cargo operation will start to build itself up. Ask yourself, is an ACPA grievance settlement going to stop the wheels of a big cargo aircraft operation from turning? Highly unlikely. The court of public opinion, and therefore an arbitrator, will be firmly against us, particularly given the climate that we find our business in today. Growth and diversification is good. Look at CMSC 1101, 2,853 pilots required. Then if you look at CMSC 1904, 4,906 pilots are required. In 2011, the fleet was 205 aircraft. In 2019, we went all the way up to 252 aircraft. The cargo operation will be no more or less fatiguing than any junior wide-body passenger pilot currently on property. Night operations are a significant part of our operation today on all fleets and have been since TransCanada Airlines began servicing Europe. What will the bulk of passenger wide-body flying look like as a passenger demand returns? Put your money on it now, mate. A lot of all-night Europe, Middle East flying, especially in the summer. Having an 18-day limit as per the LOU is a negotiated tool to avoid the insanity of 20-plus day blocks experienced by our junior wide-body pilots. At this moment, wide-body pilots do not have any contractual limits on the number of days worked in a month. At security, the data doesn't lie. As per the CMSC and fleet numbers above, many of our pilots statistically would not be at AC today if it were not for the massive amount of hiring required to sustain the growth. Facts are facts. A pilot career at AC provides security blankets other carriers simply do not offer. The more we diversify and increase our flying, the more we strengthen the security of our collective careers. When considering this LOU, do not turn a blind eye to the security value a cargo division would provide to the career of an AC pilot. Open to all. This LOU provides a course right for AC pilots to bid on. No fences, no freezes. Just a good old, if you want it, bid it. 600. That's how many AC pilots are on furlough. Unfortunately, the cargo operation will not bring these pilots back tomorrow. However, there is a higher chance of success that these pilots will be coming back sooner and to a more healthy airline. What if passenger numbers don't recover? In the fall of 2021, if we do not see a rebound in passenger numbers expected, ask yourself if stopping or not being a part of the cargo operation was the right thing to do. A proverb comes to mind. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Accept what you have rather than risk losing everything by seeking more.